Right. Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Right. All right. Sorry, I came a little bit underprepared for today. I'm just going to open the prayer files. All right, and so good morning, everyone. We will start our session today with reciting Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga, Ganden Hagem in Tibetan. Okay. And good morning, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's coming from here. Just a second. All right. Yeah. All right. And so feel free to join us if you know the recitation. And if you don't know this recitation, that's also okay. Just kick back and relax. On the heart of the savior of the 100 deities of Tushita, on the peak of a cloud resembling clump of a springly white fresh curd, King of Dhamma, Nissim Lawson Grappa, please come here together with your sons. In the sky before me, in lying throne, lotus and all, my perfect pure Guru smiles with delight. Supreme field merit from a man of faith, please abide for 100 eons to spread your teachings. Your holy mind is the intelligence that understands the full extent of objects to be known. Your holy speech with its text and explanation is his ear ornament for those of good fortune. Your holy body is radiantly beautiful with glory renown. You are meaningful to see, hear, and remember are prostrate. Pleasant drinking water, various flowers, fragrant incenses, lights, scented waters, and so forth. Also, so cloud-like offerings, both actually arranged and mentally emanating. I offer to you the supreme field of merit. Whatever non-virtue of body, speech, and mind, especially those opposite to the three vows that have collected from beginningless time, I confess each and every one with fervent regret from my heart. You strove for much learning in practicing in this degenerate age and made your freedoms and richnesses meaningful by abandoning the 8 worldly concerns. 7, we sincerely rejoice in your extensive deeds. Perfect, pure, holy gurus from the billion clouds of wisdom and compassion in the sky of the Dhammakaya, please let follow rain for fun extensive Dhamma upon the receptacle of those to be subdued exactly as they need. May whatever virtue I've collected benefit the teachings and all transmigratory beings, and in particular may cause the essence of perfect pure Lawson Dragpa's teachings to shine forever. Sashi Porki Jushile To Kamri Radrishi Nidege Pari Sangye Shindu Mikte Ova Giroku Nanda Shila Chupa. For the merits of having offered this mandala to Lama Tsongkhapa and his 2 sons, may I, my family members, and all sentient beings be able to meet, practice, and actualize the teachings of the victorious one, Lawson Dragpa, who the morality of an eminently pure way of life was courageous in the extensive conduct of the sons of the victorious ones, and accomplished the yoga of 2 stages of supreme bliss and emptiness. Idang Guru Ratna Mandala Kaniyatayami. By the force of having fervently requested in this way, all of them, All of beings of white light are emitted from the hearts of perfect pure Father and Sons, and combining into one, enter my crown. White nectar, the color of milk, close on the opening of two of white light, cleansing all my sicknesses, spirit harms, negative karmas, obscurations, and the imprints without exception. My body becomes as pure and clear as crystal. And so we will recite the 5-line Mixima verse 3 times. Mime tsewe te chen chen resi, jime kembe wambo jambe yang, dupu malu jomze sangwe da, kanchi tsungye tsunga pan, losan jabe shamla sowan de. Mime tsewe te chen chen resi, jime kembe wambo jambe yang, dupu malu jomze sangwe da, kanchi tsungye tsunga pan, losan jabe shamla sowan de. Mime tsewe te chen chen resi, jime kembe wambo jambe dupu malu jomze sangwe da, kanchen kembe tsugye tsonga pa, losan jabe shamla sowan de. And we will correct the motivation with refuge and bodhicitta.
Sangye chedan tsoji chonum la chanju pardu dani kyabsun che dagi chushi jeban da rolan penje sangye drupara sho Sangye chedan tsoji chonum la chanju pardu dani kyabsun che dagi chushi jeban da dagi rolan penje sangye drupara sho Sangye chedan tsoji chonam la chanchu pardu dani kyabsuchi dagi chushe geban zadagi drolam peche sangye drupara sho Kangi tukzini zomne tawa tamche bambi chere tambi chun dunze kodam tela chanse lo
So for the people that are looking for seats, there are a couple of cushions here, but also there are chairs at the back. You can put the chair if you see.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year.
Guess what? Exhausted is English phrases for today.
가진이마 래 저는 드린 아니 그 domongombo zobo sanjisagi nenjo doji denlaya 아니 저된 남다 그 총도 아니 야오르무실이야 드리 땡슈레샤스 단다 추적하시 지기질이야 야오르무실이야 땡슈 피고레스 딘즈 드린 안주 뒤저디 아니 야부슈치 케디샤스
It's an excellent occasion that we meet here today. In a few hours, His Holiness the Dalai Lama will be offered a long life puja at Bodh Gaya, the place in which the Buddha attained a state of complete and perfect enlightenment. And so the long life puja would be offered at a great stupa at Bodh Gaya. So it's an excellent occasion to meet here.
아니 가지리 케닝가리 켄신인가 님무숭그릴이야 안자오르무시 도지된이야 까추나오레 마무지기 세기르스 차도네 간도나 차도네 참마 슈바인스 아니 님마 당부들이야 소 아니 찬주샘조 동바 나야당 아니 찬주샘제 공불루드 근제비 찬주샘제 아니 더 셀롱레샤스 님마 당부디 니바 아니 숨바들이야 아니 주전 전장 토니 제난치 난치 가상 투스진 접송스 인테리텔이야 대주표도스라.
And so the long life puja being offered to His Holiness the Dalai Lama follows upon 3 days of teachings that His Holiness gave at Bodh Gaya. And it's likely that many of you have watched those teachings through online streaming. And so during the first day, His Holiness spoke of bodhicitta, and also confer the Bodhisattva vow. He taught from Nagarjuna's commentary to Bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment. So that was done during the first 2 days. And in the third day, His Holiness gave a jenang, or a subsequent permission for the practice of green Tara.
Teredeni da yam sambachileya nima tangbo kajutelaya jawarmuchi kalson son slawandi. Ani di ngeleya tanda is talent to gombare those things. Ani gomba delaya nizi pevche ani tanda chik barme galon la soba ani chi ta jawarmuchi zubige ani barme galon la soba ani chi ro gelu bage ta gandin triba zubi lachin mambu zomsalaya ani gomba dinangi pi ta kyangri la yebe temba tumbi ombe kuning zo chikta tani anchujun tindi mambu dos jawarmuchi dilaya nizi pen tu si wondige ani jawarmuchi ge do siya jen tuzam siya wondige tani ani nang sebu shojilaya ani temba chomden dige chaki ani jawarmuchi ge ulaya chuju nangche and di chilaya chiri kashi jindos di chiri nani chogli chik the ngal nang songs o di nima tangolaya yamsen kame ti songs ra di chik songs.
And there was an incredible account that His Holiness the Dalai Lama spoke of in the first day of the teachings. And as is at Bodh Gaya, he takes the time to visit other temples. He visited a temple that Geshe reckons belongs to the Thai tradition. And so there were quite a few dignitaries that were there for the reception, including amongst the dignitaries were also monastics from Myanmar, and some bhikshus from Myanmar, and also, of course, Tibetan dignitaries. So there were lamas from the Gelug tradition, also the Ganden Tripa, who is the head of the Gelug tradition. Sakya Koman Rinpoche and the Sakya tradition. And so were many great beings, many great lamas during that occasion. His Holiness, first of all, entered the temple, and there were murals on the wall. One of them was of Buddha Shakyamuni, the Lord of Teachings. And His Holiness was observing the painting of Buddha Shakyamuni, and he was also kind of taking the time to reflect upon it. And then he said that he had a vision that was very clear, in which the Buddha was reaching out and placing his hand on His Holiness's head. And also he had some lollies or candies kind of on his desk in front of him. So he reached out, took one chocolate and offered it to His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
And did you could say that the kind of mind but any carso that the series shows in the songs. Any carsons and I think on you to chagwin on Laya, Mung Kibasu, the songer, Sanji, the songer said there, Maimba. And in only Sozung when Sanji Jomden dig the Jinju Neman Cheche. And it Jomden dig, Command Shingi, Chanju Sam that Tony Tobi, Tavalo Soba, Kanji, T, any Tebatam, you maybe Tony, Yamlin Chebayana. And Tombachomden dig.
And so His Holiness spoke of, told this story. It wasn't said in jest. It wasn't like just an anecdote. He actually spoke about it seriously. And as he was seriously conveying the pure vision, the clear vision that he had, Geshe reckons that when we think about it, when we think about becoming authentic followers of the Buddha, like for example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama being an authentic or real follower of the Buddha, we do so through the development of bodhicitta and also the view of emptiness. And so when we combine that with faith, and also we got the pledges that we have, the samaya, when we do so, we please the mind of the Buddha.
The top of the Muslim, make it jump in the Osaka, pick it, Rogelia, Degoros, Rotini, Suzuki, and Nyamlinchia, pick it, Tamsi Soya, or this be hoda wada chanjuk sem goyla so hoda wada chiondi ani tar ani chomden di ku tikla ya lech duas sewu shoji song da nga do ina da di ani shoji ka sambo ro sor songs ti ngus koyati.
And so his Holiness was telling that, and also was saying that when you think about being a follower of the Buddha, the Bhagavan, studying at the very, very periphery, let's say, of the followers of the Buddha. So when we think about it visually, so you can think of the Buddha, the Bhagavan, being surrounded by the community, the followers of the Buddha, and you find yourself at the beginning, at the very end of this great assembly. But then when you put the teachings into practice, and you also got your commitment, your pledges, you also practice in your own mind or heart, you practice bodhicitta and so forth. At the end, you will be making your way closer and closer to the Buddha. So this is what His Holiness said yesterday clearly, and Geshe thought that how lucky we are to receive such advice.
자 당한 잠불이 나와라야 미 통결 딩기 계시 거라서라. 안 겨울음지 디송 디게 가시 이책 말했어. 또 망체지기다. 망체지기 자자 굽주 고구구다. 고구코라요 말았어. 라. 또 공이 나니야. 배시 자자 굽주고 또 가르라고 나 삼삼도치. 가시기다 인기를 삼나야. 오늘이 딩기 비 샘 딩기 아니 대바타마 요메바 용야디야 빼마서 인용로스 진짜 아니 디 용야디 등고수 고토야 텔라양 오니기지 샘딩 대바탐식다 아니 이치 쌈만장제 용토야디 라마 기비신년다 즉 추도 기비신년라 소비기 아니 까르네데니 깨원불라야 초사 드바장샤비기 톨레데니 아니 제부지리아 삼두스타운디게 아니 까와상보다 기부쇼 소르도스.
And so thinking of the number of people that live in this world, 7 or 8 billion people currently living in this world. And so some of them don't have any trust in such teachings. It is probably that the majority of the people living in this world, maybe more than 90%, 98%, 99%, in whatever way we try to quantify it, probably the majority of them will not even hear of such teaching, such advice. Then even those that can receive those teachings, listen to this advice, not many of them have unshakable faith. Some of them might be wondering, what is he on about? Is it really true? Is it really the case? Some might be thinking that, yeah, it's probably like that, but I'm not sure. It's hard to find, or you can say very few people have unshakable faith, complete deep sense of faith and trust, and also pure samas, pure pledges. So we have lamas, virtuous friends, but also many of our Dharma friends. And it is made possible through having accumulated the collections, having purified negativities and obscurations in this and previous lives. So it depends upon that. We have that opportunity, that great fortune to encounter conditions such as this.
어디리 디디 가르송고레스 라운디 간주 수주 대바당 아니 비기 당나 냠는 지역이 쪽바이나 아니 야도지 되나야 좀 된디 공무스 제엔두스 더 송고라 더라 난 딜리터지 코송스 라 수수 대바담지 쪽바이나 좀 된디 그 소원한 신기 냠는 제투바이나 아니 좀 된디 공무스 제주 여바디 겨울무치 무슨 제바레스 달다 무슨 제바디야 달리 지구도 인기 말이야 간지 제바디 무슨 제소선 만소나와 캡자진 송바디기 아니 간수 이치 제고 그랬어 라 이침고 그랬어 디저송기 아니 소수기 좀 된디 간 송바디 돌아야 됐지 냠네 제투바이나 야자자다 뭐 센데다 아니 치마 아니 란데신 사말이야 팽이진레스 라 Tinza dindriji ani danganzu losabadi nalaya semna shagoya zu chigdi ti insares.
And so when Geshe thinks of this message coming through this event, these teachings of His Holiness and Dalai Lama, what are they indicating? What are they saying? Well, Geshe reckons that when His Holiness recounted his experience, the message is that if we also, in a spiritual practice, we develop faith, we develop pure appearances, we sincerely and genuinely put the teachings into practice, we can also come to see the Buddha face to face or in reality, in Bodh Gaya, for example. It is possible to see the Buddha in actuality, just like what happened to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And His Holiness spoke about it, you can say, in public. And so if we put the teachings into practice with that sense of faith, we develop pure appearances and so forth, it will be of great benefit to ourselves and others in this life and future lifetimes as well. So Geshe wanted to begin this talk for the new year with thinking of how we integrate that into our spiritual practice.
디 가전다 여름지 송주 니마섬디 단람균이 쉬완자 디기다 지 도도 님부로 지라 아니 안주다 나올래야 셰르치는 리로스라 칠크레스.
And so Geshe wanted to just share a little bit of the essence of the teachings that His Holiness gave over 3 days.
그래서 지난 때들이 자니마 남기 아니 람름 거를 치고레스 람름 거를 치대고레스 람 저름치기 송달 람름 링기토니 안주 람름 거를 치대고레스 안조 디다 기중안이 있던 냠도 아니 로게 사스그릴이야 아니 지금 람름 구츠비 단 레숑망부 라 아니 tammansola chetik chedevaris ra.
And now this is Sunday, today is Sunday, and normally what we do on Sunday, or what we've been doing in the last few weeks and months, is sharing Lama Tsongkhapa's presentation of the states of the path of enlightenment. So Geshe was using a middling presentation of the states of the path of enlightenment composed by Lama Tsongkhapa. And also then today, we also take into consideration that we've been working together for more than 8 years. And as such, we not only had the opportunity to study from Lama Tsongkhapa's teachings, but also we had the opportunity to look at many other texts, many other systems, and also share them with the public.
Teri ngani nyamdo shedi nega tanging nega some imbi rewacheni erigin judro chiyes.
And so what Geshe thought of speaking of today is something that Geshe is hoping that will bring some temporary benefit to us.
아니 다저다 드링하니다 니만 담아다오지 드니 더 소소소 치는 내가 치야지 다 드로그라스 디 삼선 삼로 다운디 지 삼나라야 테스트 교와토치 아다 다치 카텐 주 소만도지 용도 와서가 좀 매려야 이내 삼로 초진 지 다운디기 jigding chunyi badi gasha gyatan wares ro du ne targoban jigding chunyi res pita sangi gi song zam mayin ba ngubi ne lu la ya di chag de yores ro tindi ji ton chi song dang ba na ji ne ji kyo ji go ya gi ne lu ji yo mares kyo ji go sa ne lu ji yo mares.
And so Geshe thought of saying a few words today for maybe correcting a motivation for the new year, hoping that will bring some benefit. But also, this is today the last session in which Geshe and I will be working together, as I'm taking an extended break, an indefinite break from my work here and going somewhere else. And so Geshe said that it is possible that in some, sometimes we feel disheartened or a little bit sad about someone leaving, but then when we think about it from another perspective, every meeting ends up in separation. So this is not something that the Buddha said, or just that the Buddha said or spoke of. Actually, when we look at reality, when we look at our situation, we can recognize how every meeting will end up in separation. This is what reality is about, and therefore there's nothing really to become disheartened about.
Pardon the Dingalaya Comdidoji Tetsason Sira Lodgub the Chubgini Chene Sosu Lomba down cutter Piggy Pama Pinche down cutter any Sadaran Bushujilaya Yang Teni Givishin you something make ever tinted the chair Lota and in Mission Rajilaya and in Gigin Cardinching Shovel to the and Tamadilaya and Gigindaya cutter. Odusta Puchijin into young was the Messi Tonton de Nalaya. This is on Gipitachi any doing the Targo and Chigding Chinyes Ella Soban, Kuching moving Nelu Mambujilaya, Jan to Sion Dige, any Chig Sam Giona Yado di Majorosic. And this is the younger than that you can't shoot him with major doji. Comedy doji and draw the shells.
And so every meeting ends up in separation. And Geshe said that over the years being alive, he got used to this reality, acquainted with the reality of separation. Geshe left his home in Tibet when he was at the age of 17, 18 years old. So he was born into a family of nomads in eastern Tibet. And he left home when he was 17 or 18 and made his way to India, having been away from his family all those years. And now Geshe said that Geshe is now in his 50s. And so he's been away from his parents, very old.
Very old.
Yeah, very old. He's ancient. And so just 1 year older than me. Anyway. And so Geshe has been away from his parents, from his family for all that long, and all those years. And he joined a monastery in India, and he got to train with incredible spiritual teachers, with incredible Lama. He studied with his root teacher over 20 years. And again, a point of separation came to pass. And so this is the nature of our world. We live for a short time. At least Geshe said that in a short time that he's been here, at least in this life, he encountered quite a few occasions of separations. And so, of course, there's some level of disheartenedness that comes into your heart, but it doesn't have to be a deep one, strong one, because this is the nature of our life.
There's ngani nyamdu loje lalaji. Yes, in a chance nyamdu mancha, the chance nyamdu peshi and karma to tai. Any lodship this as nyam ra deli shivi ros. How Karanzu mang tende semnalaya aka kodroshagri Samsung. Kiona tende yungros.
So Geshe and I have been working together for 8 years, but there are people here that know me for over 17 years. So I've been here for more than 70 years, and it's possible that some of you think, alas, I'm leaving. Oh no.
Rina dangas do stay on the hakor that they on the ra. Dangas pele roji kishego mata, they on the korangi chidangi mepe ngode chambushura. Ani digi chugi shizedia, ani cherry drogoba. Nyamling said there, said torn drogoba, that Geshe Gatamba. Yes, and dinji tone and chik such a chick samlia de de maimba mambu jila kora jawandi mambula pendo yongada chao jachir joyati jaja jadamares tinza any ngandoina jesuran chigis right.
So this is why it becomes a little bit odd that I have to translate about things said about me. So let's try it out. Anyway, and so Geshe said that he's saying that not just his platitude, but he says that I can be quite smart or witty. Also, with decent Dhamma knowledge, and also definitely trying to put it into practice. And so over the years of being here, not only I was able to help out here, but also in other places as well. So definitely there is benefit and help that other people got from my skills. So Geshe said that although, of course, it's disheartening that someone leaves, also Geshe says that he rejoices in all those accomplishments.
Yins the kanji any kawa drona ya kawal deba in ya any piggy that same dingy koranlia same dingy any sanji chulia that she need teba toba sing yobanza kawa drona ya any chudingi chawajilia good to a but the jazzy ro suzuki any togu tsamaimba penjol tsamaimba mingi chet maimba ngone chi pentok tosajilia ya pentok na sambigi kolong di chugi chilabri diores tinza tindig tone ani lomba shenta jen la ya zhong digi ledam malong toki ro ani yul mandrawa ani chi min mandrawa la ya pentok chi goye tu dan tsamon digi ani chabakari na yabu yungres So
Geshe doesn't wish to speak too much about it, but as we said, I'm leaving Chimrezik Institute in a couple of days. So wherever I go, wherever I will stay in the future, Geshe feels that since I have heartfelt faith in the teachings of the Buddha, faith that is born from knowledge, Geshe feels that I will be able to put it to use to benefit others without wishing to be reciprocated, without wishing to gain reputation, to make a name for myself, but with sincere motivation to be of help to others. And that comes through the blessings of the Buddha. And so that is also attributed to karma and prayers that we've said in our previous lives. May we be able to benefit others, to meet them wherever they're at, in different languages, different dispositions. So Geshe feels that though I'm leaving Chimrezik Institute for the time being, things will still go well.
Tinza kanjin dorduna susu kawa dena ya kawa drona ya drosa dele ya ani pendo chi goya dan desa dele ya pendo ko samdang goya di pe masiba kechembo res ra ani susu desa dele ya ani pendo ko samlo ji tang ba ya na ani susu gu niba changzang ji tön tuya chik ngi tüttag do di sorgu yes ngarang di laglen di sor ji tan jogu yes ra susu desa dele ya ani susu gu pendo ko samlo ji tang ba ya na susu lu nga yiksum gi ani niba changzang di and delaya poni lega shetugroas and digi and tumdri chech ro pento jachech yoyadi the kuchuni chagres ro big desa chilaya de ani samlotans de lomba shemba chilaya samlotan de bayna and ludan semni katrevso ro chache and nibat chong dogres ro nibat chong dog nga dindi sorgdos.
And so wherever I'll be in the future, but we can also think about ourselves. So wherever we are in the future, wherever we go, it is important to not only think of the benefit, the welfare of others, but also to think of how we can contribute to help to those around us, wherever we're at. So we have full ability to be of benefit to others, physically, verbally, mentally, to those around us. And so if we do not only think of others far and wide, but also make sure that in practicality, we use our ability to be of service to others around us, definitely we will travel well, we will go well. Whereas if we think of being of benefit to others, if we wish for being of great benefit to many others, but we won't take care of those around us without doing anything for those around us, it is as if our body and mind are separated from each other, and will have definitely a lesser ability to be of benefit to others.
대상가라도 망치야디 아니 산인델이야 되기여봤다 사도들 아니 추존델이야 콘 되기여반사 안간 상말로게 아니 누바 본사디 아니 산인디 니 추존델이야 아니 누바 본체 아니 간주 내가 치와이나 자세 자탄바 아니 지 규링부야 라 아니 미망부질이야 간주 펜도 치토그리 삼고도스.
It's also relevant to all of us here. For those of us who live here at the center, those of us who live in this area, and those of us who live in this region, all of us have the ability to be of benefit to others. So definitely, if we put to use this ability, we can help out. We can be of benefit either to this place, but also to those around us.
제 당의 example 랑안주 추존 디착수부 약부 치차바이나 안간주기 비다지 추조의 착수부 차원디 디낭로야 추칭인치야디 아니 착수를 줘야 띵sab을 줘야 아니 지금 무슨 질려봐야냐 아니 추 토니 밀레야 펜도 치투야기 아니 차긴디 망르도그레스 망르도그레스라.
And so when we think about it in relation to, for example, this center, and so if things go well for us at Chimrazik Institute, we'll also be able to facilitate, to help others practice in a way that is better, smoother, deeper, to shape the heart to be kinder. And as such, the ability to then bring benefit to many others will grow and increase.
가을이나 펜도치 제열에서 제는 약불에서 약불에서 배는 미교우질이야 아니 칼라지 때바이나 배마스바 라 미교우질에서 인지권을 나네 칼라지 때वर 배 약불어 왔어 임바이나야 갸체 좀 저러서 아니 지금 미 지니 잠마임바 아니 지금 추조 디가랑이야 수수기 아니 가리 토네 아니 샨데슈도도 디드바이나 디기 미 갸타 mam불이야 펜도치야기 시대 차기도 왔어
So it's good to think of being of benefit to others wherever you are. And even as far as being able to help just one person, let's say destitute, offering the person food, that's excellent, that's incredible. But then we don't want to remain limited in our ability to be of benefit to others, not just help one or two people, but to increase our ability to be of helpful to many others, to dozens, to hundreds of people.
bina tunju ani tunju mambuleya busse mambuleya pendochi bina tunju jata khashijilaya pendochi tubana lapchiri yagburesra ina jata khashijila pendochi tagana remado telechi lapchiri droyas kiyomarwas chuzon di tsatsubu yagbu chebayna ani nima dunda lo ani mi jata tongra mambuleya ro mi yuni tunjure 아니 딘디래야 펜도치서기 시대 야부쇼지 차기도 왔어라 이 차고랬어.
And so when we think of our ability to be of benefit to others, you might, for example, help animals, for example, save, protect, or take care of animals, hundreds of them, and that's excellent. But still, when we think of the rippling effect that such an activity will have, still in some sense you can say that it remains a little bit limited in a sense that you might be able to help hundreds of them, but the benefit would be limited. Whereas when you think of then a center such as this, where you're benefiting others, helping them to shape a kind heart or a compassionate heart, the ability that and that will send a rippling effect in the community or for other people that we might encounter. There is a potential for a greater and greater ability to be of benefit to others.
누스 편도 체중 토네로 개 체중 토네 아니 개 체월이야 아니 뉴버튼 투바이나 디 비 산지 위치래야 태버 체중 이외변하니 아니 태버 침비 출생의 작도 왔어라.
And so when we think of the ability that we have to be of benefit to others, and we work on that, we develop that, we increase that greater and greater, we all have the ability to do that. And this is what we endeavor to do here. And so we have different Buddhist traditions, but in general, we have the Mahayana tradition and the Hinayana tradition. And so the intention, the motivation that we have in the Mahayana tradition is just that, to increase our ability to be of greater and better benefit to others. All right. And so, Geshe thought of a good way to start this first day of the new year, and he thought of a verse that was taught by Atisha. So he sent it to me a few minutes before the session. So here it is. Georgia Atisha said, "Life is short and there is so much to know. Since you do not know how long you will live, like a swan extracting milk from water, begin with taking up that which you wish for."
디 나노라야 가르송어스 딩안주 체디 툰동레스 라 체툰동 라 상르직단의 체툰동르다 로갸락 때나 땐 딜하 요마르와스 이네야 체툰동 이네야 미 류덴디 로 셴리 캐버트 파비 류덴치 밀라야 류덴치 용거레스 디 류덴디 가르치 투그르스라디 아니 남주 캐버징 남주직 땡치 거레스 로 비 레닌제야 남주 때 란sam마임바 안지 심전 탐절이야 아니 펜디드리야기 아니 줍투야기 남주 땡디 치고레스 딘지 땡 캐버진데 아니 뒤엔 튼동 직마도 요마레스 디 나노라야 원에 간주기 신고야 줍고야기 내가 남자 마부 쇼치로 용그레스 송다 디나.
And so, as Georgia Atisha says here, life is short. And so our life is short, so short. At most, you can say we might live to reach the age of 100, but still it's quite short in the great scheme of things. And the time that we have to develop our ability is quite short. And so we have the ability to use this basis, a human body, that is quite limited in terms of time, to know better, to distinguish, to know what is positive, what is negative, what is correct, what is incorrect. And we can use this precious body that we have to develop our ability to be of greater and greater benefit to others, not just for oneself, but of a greater benefit to others. And so, as Atisha says here in this verse, life is short and there's so much to know. Not just so much to know, there's so much to do, so much to accomplish.
디나라 베지여스라 ngambichule omalembata rangideba tambulambre kiset ro changambagi changambadi tundru rigires ku tundru jimbayna ya phi chudo omani nani omalen thugdoas chu ro phi yaga ditsuleni duadi shagtugdoas tangan zum miinza jawa keche de drupchine chon le temps tugoyadi the Nengares.
And Atisha here uses a nice analogy. He says, just like a swan extracting milk from water. At least in Buddhist literature narratives, it is said that swans or geese have the ability to drink liquid and separate between the good liquid, the nutrients, and expel the water. So just like a swan has the ability to extract milk from water, we also as human beings have the ability to look at the things that we do in our life, considering that our life is so short, and make sure that we sort out our priorities in a good way, to focus on things that are important and to set aside things which are just incidental.
terda rangin deba tangbol lamar ki sedi rangin deba tangbol lamar ki sedi anjun deding nanki ki cheshudi jogore sedi ta tangbo di ki chimol ya zo ki chimbudil ya ziare shas ro ki cheshudi tangbol lengo res.
And so here Atisha says, finally, begin with taking up that which you wish for, which is another way of saying sort out your priorities. First off, focus on the things that are really important, the most important things.
Reda nganjun deba dilya deba di kariyores laundi en sanji so namalya deba di nganjun do ri trudi chikyur kares laundi deba dungam deba dres deba deyat degyu deba yang tendu deba dogre ma dongan zuge ani chi nekab gu deba chi and digre samni nekab gu deba chi tendu nye ni chenga ke drogmarwas ro me khanga gi lega kharchine ya chi tendu deba chi yongya gi chedo lega chegiyorwas ro ko kapkale mashiba yungore ma do degyu ngomati tendu deba chi tendu nyergoras ro.
And when Natasha says, begin with taking up that which you wish for, what we wish for, at least in accordance with the teachings of the Buddha, what we wish for, which is the same for all of us living beings, all living beings of the 6 realms of existence, all of us are wishing for happiness, and none of us wants to experience suffering and pain. And so this is what we wish for. Not only that, it's not that we just wish for short-term happiness. We want something that is long-term, long-lasting happiness and well-being. And so when Atisha says, begin with taking up what you wish for, it says, begin with working towards long-term happiness and well-being. Don't suffice with things which are incidental, temporary, or provisional. It is indeed the case that sometimes we do not understand, we do not know precisely what our priorities are, but in general, we can say that what we're looking for is long-term happiness and well-being. So begin with that.
Terda tinza dentu devalaya ro dentu devadilaya seondigi ta mambu shujingda pena ani tamchi ro me tamchi ani sosu nyendu kyurbayna ani khad dranaya ani kibuda devuchi yonsarasra ta me tamchi nyendu kyuyagi gyugin zodi chamze gomyadereshas ro chamze yabuchi gomtubayna ani 참마도 가오 용해지 로 아니 드라메바지 녀차야지 용거라스 다 딘지기 잠지 검선 좋은디 안주 담분이 잠지 검싱와 다 잠지 비 라브샤디 산지기 추나로야 띵사부 자첨부슈 송장사 디 페나 디레야 라바이나 로 지금 메신 디기 자베당 안줄래야 벤조 고고요레 아니 고고요르데 이나야 안 디 참마임바 직 잠재 코랑 돌아야 직 랍투 바이나 아니 원액이 대화 개발 전직 라고 하서레스.
So all of us are looking for lasting happiness. And the way to do it, according to the teachings of the Buddha, would be to turn our attention to others and develop an attitude that cherishes all of them, that has a deep sense of concern for them, love and compassion towards others. If we do that, we'll be able to turn everyone to be close to our heart. So long-lasting happiness would come through making everyone being close to your heart. The way to do that is to develop love and affection, a sense of concern for others, to the point where you can even turn someone that is an enemy of yours to be someone that is close to your heart. So how do we go about and develop that sense of love and concern towards others? There are extensive teachings that were given by the Buddha, providing us with techniques for shaping our heart, transforming a mind to be a mind that encompasses everyone with a sense of concern for others, with love and concern for others. And so we study those techniques, we put them into practice, we train, and we need to train in them. And so if we do it, if we do take up those methods for developing a sense of concern and love for others, we will discover genuine happiness and well-being.
일단 잠재 공원디게 셴려야 다 인지다 잠바 공야티 라디라스 다디 셴라 가르치는 공거를 소소소피게 아니 손집 제거를 삼성게 삼로디 용거라다 춘중권에 걸 럽종 제당 토니 네 디 용스기로스 임바이나야 아니 개체종을 때봐야나 랑의 셴슬라원디 랑세디 미치긴 바다 셴세디 참매반 탐매바지 임바디 무여로스 가지 겨울음지 도지들라 다가랑 송송스 그래서 딘디기 차네 셴라 토려야 상당 거야디 개친는 된신 차여버디 무여 차고라스 이제 무여든 틈이 삼로지 담아야나 미디 로도비여바 아니치 아니 시디여바 펜바자치 무드통에 삼월로 가보치야지 야시자 야담아 연구여서라스.
And so we use different words to describe this attitude that we train it, that we extend to others, love and concern, compassion, and so forth. And so we might be thinking, why do I need to do it to begin with? After all, it is likely that we are taught from young age to take care of ourselves, to develop this attitude in which we first off seek to protect ourselves. So why is it that we then seek to train in those attitudes of benefit, of caring for others, love for others, compassion for others? Well, there are different reasons that we can use that demonstrate how it is reasonable, it is logical to train in those methods. To begin with, just as is honest, the Dalai Lama mentioned in recent days at Bodh Gaya in India, when we think of ourselves, we're just one individual, one living beings, and other living beings are so numberless, enormous. So when we think about it in terms of numbers, caring just for one person or caring for limitless number of sentient beings, it is actually reasonable, it is logical to care for others. And so we think of the meaning of such arguments and we develop courage in our heart, not only courage in our heart, but also when we take up those trainings, we find that our mind is becoming more peaceful, that there's a sense of love and concern for others that is generally developed in our heart.
nganzu di yigi chedo ta penjo druguyor gogor de ya penjo cheta waina gangaji ranshingi yungdos nganzu thongde ra penjo chimbu tozole ya ji any trinya goya menda nya goya pen kambu goya gonja chimbu gya goya la soba to sama lokas doksun shuji semna wala ya ani toba namdo shuji yongya kendi ani gypenju chiya siure do asra kanji semdi ani pigi kya dengen so pi ngani shede pabe so so kawal dena ya ani nang do che me ton de matuya di ta nyamnen se tombu yana da ko kariyone keba yo marde ine ya timmedi nganzu penjogi ani surchigni kangaji sogdo asra.
So we are, you can say that from young age, we are trained or we are taught to take care of ourselves, to protect ourselves. Often it also involves with taking care of our money or our assets, our possessions, and so forth. And for that end, sometimes people go to the extent of fencing the houses, locking the doors, obtaining guns or knife or other ways to protect their assets, to protect themselves. So it is the case that when one becomes a high-level practitioner, they can get by without any money, any possessions, any assets. Something like that is possible, but it is likely that we're not there yet. So we still rely upon our financial situation, which still need to get by, but also we recognize that while it does provide us with, the things that we have do provide us with some sense of security, still the downside of it, the opposite side of it, is that it still also gives us some sense of apprehension and fear, in the sense that we need to protect ourselves. And it also involves some other problems.
미지 잠지 이게 냠내 체딩이 짐바나 가와 드러나야 지 나남도 치 메비토는 로투야지 로 간지 샘버 박배부치는 로투야지 이 연구여라스
With an attitude of love and care, concern for others, compassion, we'd be able to be more at peace, more relaxed, wherever we are.
대사진의 라우드그래 녀사진의 라우드그래 칼라진의 라우드그래 니코 다 캡산 체슈도지 메제드 나와라야 팍안 기부치느라 가오토나 기부치느 안 수투나야 고 게모게니 게지시 투야지 니 겨울음지 뒤따도 송거스 니 팅원이 인사레스 랑원이 간주 원이 잠재기 냠내라 파치 쇼트 바이나 아니 소수 샘바디 야치게다 본 만투야 기부용야디 디 인사레마도 아니 셴바기 간절이야 세디기치 자자그 토니 샘 기부슈지 차고요나 깔카부 차고 왔어레스 깔카부 차고 왔어레스라.
And so we do take care of ourselves wherever we're at. So we take care of ourselves. It is definitely the case that we do enjoy some well-being and happiness, pleasure, and so forth. When we have a good place to stay, good bed, nice food, and so forth, definitely this is helpful. But then still, in terms of long-term happiness and well-being, it will come through developing an attitude of love and care for others. And it would be a greater sense of well-being and happiness than the thing that we get from things which are rather temporary, from having a nice plate of food and so forth. And so if we're able to communicate, to relate to others with a sense of affinity, with smile on our face, definitely the happiness that we'll have in our life would be much greater. And that's the point that Geshe wanted to make regarding the importance of continuing to develop, to nourish the sense of love and care that we have to others.
대성한도 달로 디기 아니 세버지 니마 당부들래 영원히 나 드리니 전에 즉 샴페인에 잠재에 즉 우유 내루래야지 소속에 리버지 팀니 로존 최고 삼성 담제 샤와이나 한 가지 야담 편도 전부 연구였어요. 샘나라에 바자 전부 아니 샘식 전부 아니 즉 내급 그 강함만 보치래야 돈에 채토야지 가지야 연구였어요.
And so today, this is today, January 1st, the beginning of a new year. So we can make a new year resolution to develop a greater sense of care for others, to develop the intention to be of benefit to others, an altruistic intention, to become determined to focus on that in our study, in our practice. And if we do so, definitely 100%, it would be of benefit to others. We'll place imprints upon our mind stream for being able to accomplish that. And also along the way, through becoming determined to develop a sense of care and sense of love for others, our ability to deal with challenges, with difficulties, to face the different things that we go through will grow and increase.
Corey, welcome. Christy, long time no see. How are you? Good.
One of our best friends.
인디로 이제 내가 마무시면 아니 계란솔이야 믹스 삼선 영원해지 아니 수수 선난기 가면든지 나이기리스 대티링아도 뒤적지고 뒤적지래야 키대연서 아니 소소소기 삼선을 소야나 약부여러스 이게삼의 약부도스.
And so this is what Geshe wanted to say today. From time to time we meet on special occasions such as this, the beginning of a new year. So Geshe thought of sharing today with us what he had in mind. And maybe if you guys have also something that you wanted to say, something that you wanted to share, then please don't hold back.
거리를 일상에 들어서서 제와도 연습
Have you got any questions?
No. Yes. 그렇지 않은 가게 끼를 달라다.
Geshe said, but be warned, if you sing too many praises, I'll become haughty and proud.
Well, I'm sure
Beware.
many people want to say something, but probably many people are kind of shy or scared. So I thought I'm just going to start, and then a lot of people will probably follow me, because I'm sure a lot of people have wonderful things to say about Venerable Katsun. And if you do develop pride, then sorry, that's your problem. Yeah, I was up late last night writing what would I want to say. That's how I spent my New Year's evening. And I met Venerable Katsun in 2006, probably when you just arrived, or maybe a year after you'd arrived, or something like that.
Yeah, probably a few months. I came
Yeah,
here
maybe
in
a few
August
months.
2005.
Yeah. And we all remember Venerable with his long, shaggy hair.
Yeah, my beautiful mane.
Yeah, beautiful mane. And the impression that I got from Venerable Katsun at that time was this man who was always up for a laugh and joking. And sometimes I would think to myself, he's sort of like the self-confessed naughty boy. But after a fair bit of time getting to know Venerable Katsun, I saw that beneath the veneer, there's a very, very serious Dharma practitioner. There's a scholar practitioner underneath that veneer of jokes and hilariously vain t-shirts. I think he had one which said, "Reincarnation will screw you up." And I don't say this as just like to make a speech, but sincerely. How often do you get the opportunity to really actually sing praises of someone that you respect, you look up to? He's a teacher of many of us. He's a real Dharma colleague. He's a Dharma friend. He's a Vajra brother. For many years for myself, he was a brother in robes. So I say this with a great sense of sincerity. So he was this man, shaggy-haired man, and then one day he just walked into the Gompa unannounced that he was getting ordained, and he was a monk. And unlike many of us who enter into that realm of becoming a monk, he was a slow burn. And if people who know Venerable Katsun will know what I mean. It was a slow burn in that moving into sort of a bright presence and illumination. But I really wanted to make one point around singing your praises this morning. For me, I think one of your greatest contributions to Chenrezig Institute and all the students here, and particularly the in-depth study program, was your intense dedication over 3 years of translating for Geshe Jamyang and the Madhyamika teachings for around 3 years or something like that, and what led up to that. I'm sure there's probably a few people who were involved in that, and also many of us who are engaged in the Dharma. We know just how precious those teachings are. How often in any lifetime do you get the chance to study in depth the view in such profundity and such clarity? And that period is an amazing contribution to this center and to Dharma, I would say Dharma in the West in general, and Dharma in Australia in general. And probably that's not made explicit enough. So that's, for me, I want to say I have extreme gratitude for you for being that part through those years. So thank you very, very much for that, Venerable. And I wish you so well on your way. And I was thinking about like what to say. And I thought around this sense of, there's a book about the Dalai Lama by, I forget the author. And the title of the book's called Man, Monk, and Mystic. So I guess I've witnessed Venerable Kartson from the man, the shaggy-haired, joking man, to monk, serious Dharma scholar and practitioner. And potentially this moment, you stepping forward is your mystic moment. And we all know that in the Dharma, one of the good signs of pure Guru devotion is you become more and more like your teachers. So congratulations. Well done. And wish you so very well on your way. So really, from the heart, Venerable Kartson, and on behalf of probably many people here, your contribution is immense.
Thank you.
Next. Gorilla.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Carolyn, and I've first encountered Venerable Kartson at Chinresig Institute, but I'd also like to say that he's not only leaving Chinresig Institute, but I'm from Langui Tangpa Centre in Brisbane, and I've also been to teachings of Khenche Rinpoche's Buddhist school in Brisbane too. So I just wanted to really make the point of thanking you on behalf of the broader sort of the centres and all the teachings in Brisbane that you've done. And thank you, Geshe, for coming to us too.
My pleasure. My job. No choice.
It was coherent.
It's been wonderful, but and I think that Yaki from being Yaki to Venerable Kartson, and the travel that you have done, from here to Brisbane, and and it's with the sort of that wonderful motivation and intent that shines out of wanting to bring the Dharma in all ways to as many people as you can in this lifetime. And I really want to appreciate that not only will you be missed from CI, but you'll be missed very much too from the Brisbane centres too. So thank you very much, Yaki.
Thank you.
Venerable Kartson.
Thank you.
Lindsay lecturer. Lindsay lecturer.
Could you pass on the mic to Lindsay?
Lindsay.
Okay.
Hi. Hi, Geshe. Hi, Yaki. Yes, I first got to know Yaki just after he came here. And for a few years, I wasn't too involved, but then I did get involved a little more at the centre, again, after my early start, which was years and years prior to that. And I served on the executive with Yaki for a number of years. And eventually I ended up here again as a director for a little time. So I've got to know Yaki quite well, I hope as a friend, but also as a colleague, a work colleague. And yes, I think Chinresig Institute's been very fortunate. It's had a number of really excellent translators, and I think Yaki certainly falls into that category. His translation is really good. Well, it appears to be good. I'm not sure what Geshe is saying, but
Just making it up as I go.
it sounds pretty good.
His karma.
Yeah.
It certainly sounds pretty good. But I think what Yaki brought was a sense of confidence in his ability to meet with so many different people at different levels, but also his sense of humour, which is, I think, extremely important at a Dharma centre, because we can all get a bit sombre at times and perhaps be a little bit too philosophical. So it's nice to have someone with a sense of humour and a little bit of wit about them. So it's not just that, though, not just his translations. Yaki did an awful lot of work that wasn't just about that at the centre. Whenever he was asked to do something, he was certainly there to do it. So I wish him the best, and I'm pretty sure he'll be back. So I wish him the best, and I'm sure everyone else does too. And I hope that, his time with his teacher, which is coming up soon, will be very rewarding. And I think I'm not letting the cat out of the bag here, I'm sure. I think he intends to go to Lama Tsongkhapa and study a little bit more. And hopefully we'll see him back here in the future. So thank you very much, Yaki.
Thank you.
I'm Rosie. I wrote a little poem. So this will give time for other people to think about what they'd like to say next. It's called Ode to Katsun. He came to Chenrezig as Yaki Plat, and he's leaving as Venerable Katsun. We loved him then with his long curly hair, and we love him now with none. Our interpreter, our teacher, our monk, and our dear friend. His time here in the jungle has finally reached its end. 17 years, so hard to believe. The time has simply flown. We've shared hundreds, thousands of classes with him, and we've witnessed how he has grown. The talents of our dear Yaki are inspiring and overbrimming, not just languages, interpreting and teaching, but chocolate making and swimming. He could easily have been a comedy star. He's a cheeky and witty charmer. We're so fortunate he's chosen instead to dedicate his life to the Dharma. In fact, it seems there's only one thing that could be considered to be his weakness. If he has to wake up early, he's just not at his peakness.
Don't talk to me before 12 o'clock.
Although he grew up an Israeli, he's a laid-back Aussie nowadays. Just kick back and relax is the classic phrase that we've often heard him say. We'll miss him now so very much. His wisdom, his friendship, his humor. We wish him all the very best for whatever lies in his future. Although he'll be sought all around the world, and his calendar will always be full, we hope that Chenrezig will always be home, and we'll see him soon on the hill.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Liesel, and I just want to say thank you because without the interpreters, I don't know if I would really know very much about any Dharma at all. So thanks for being a good interpreter, keeping me awake and interested in the Gompa. And I mean, it was rather large shoes to fill after Venerable Zopa left because he was a favorite amongst everyone. And incredibly, you've kept the standard here at Chenrezig Institute. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. Can I also say a few words?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. And so first of all, thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for the all the wishes. So I encountered Buddhism, I think that more than 25 years ago, on my first visit to India. And then over the years, as I became more interested and more involved with Buddhism, I kept on going to India. And when I was about 30, I left my job in Israel. I was a software engineer. I left my job and I went to India, and I thought of staying for 6 months again. But I ended up staying for 4 years, and along the way, I took up Tibetan language. And so I wanted to study Tibetan better, and I heard about the FPMT translators program. And so I had no connection with the FPMT before that. The only connection that I had was from Western monks or nuns that I took classes with in Israel or in India at Tushita Center or other places. And so I joined the FPMT translators program with having no connection with the FPMT. Not only I had no connection with the FPMT as I was doing, going through that program. Many people were speaking of Gyabje Lama Zopa Rinpoche. They spoke about him so highly, but also you hear extreme stories about Lama Zopa Rinpoche, extreme. And so I developed a sense of antagonism, I think. I didn't want to meet Lama Zopa Rinpoche. I thought it's just kind of a bit out there. And so at the end of our studies, he came to visit the school that I was training at. And there was a Dharma group in Israel that asked me to pass on a letter to Lama Zopa Rinpoche and asked him to travel to Israel to give them teaching. So I was just kind of the messenger. So I went into the office, wanted to offer some prostrations. He stopped me and said, "No need prostrations, what do you want?" So I gave him the letter, explained what that group wanted. And he said, "Well, I might come, but I need to say a lot of prayers, a lot of Om Mani Padme Hum for that." And I thought to myself at the time, they can say however many prayers they want. I'm not saying even one. And so, I was pretty standoffish, but then the following day, or maybe it was the same day, we had to go up to Shida Center to attend some puja with Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And you hear stories about Lama Zopa Rinpoche going kind of on and on and on overnight. And I really like my sleep, so I was like, didn't really want to do it. Anyway, we had to do it. And it was actually, as many people say so, you get kind of completely blown by, completely, I guess, swept by Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And so kind of my attitude started to shift henceforth. And so towards the end of my studies in India, I got an offer to come here to Chinrezig Institute to travel together with another Geshe, Geshe Lobsang Jamyang, that was here for 9 years. And so I thought myself, I had enough of India for some time. I needed a break. Never thought of coming to Australia. I thought of, why not? Just try it out. But I thought of being here for 2 years and then going back to India to do further studies. And so before coming here, by the way, I went to Tibet for a month or two with a friend of mine. And as it happened, Geshe Tsultrim, that was also the current teacher at the center, was in Eastern Tibet. And I happened to be at some point at the same town. People asked me if I'm with Geshe Tsultrim. I said, which Geshe Tsultrim? And found out that actually it's the one that lives here. So I went up to his monastery and knocked on the door. Someone came out and said that I'm about to be the translator for Geshe Tsultrim. And they thought that I'm crazy. But they let me in, and I was wearing those ragged shoes that were a little bit muddy. And I said, should I take my shoes off? And said, no need to take your shoes off. It's completely okay. I went in. No one was wearing shoes apart from me. And I was kind of walking on the beautiful carpet with muddy shoes. Anyway, met Geshe Tsultrim in Tibet. So that was a good occasion. And then a couple of months after that, I arrived in Australia and met people that were, I guess, bound to be my family members, my friends here. And so I still thought I'll be here initially for 2 years, and 17 and a half years, years later, I'm still here. And so it is, first of all, I think that due to the incredible activities of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, providing Dharma education programs for students all around the world, and also here in Australia. And when I came here, I came with really basic knowledge of Tibetan and also basic knowledge of the Dharma. I mean, I trained in India for 2 years as an interpreter, but that was really learning just the alphabet, let's say, considering the vast amount of knowledge that one needs to study in the Dharma, but also as an interpreter. So it was a very long on-the-job training. And there were, I think that when I came here, we recorded all the sessions on just cassettes with tapes. And so when I think of now, first of all, I'm really grateful that they're on cassettes and not digitized. There were occasions where I thought that if was an outbreak of fire and all those cassettes will be destroyed, that would be great. Now, I didn't do a very good job for the first few years because it was on the job training. And most of the people that were here at the time had so much more knowledge than I had. I knew Tibetan, but in terms of Dharma, I didn't know much. And so I would like, first of all, to thank all of you here, particularly people that have been here for many years, for being patient with me. and allowing me to grow and develop as an interpreter, but also, as Jumper said and many others said, kind of we just grow along as Dharma students and Dharma practitioners. And so I had and still have the incredible fortune of working with qualified teachers. And so I work with Geshe Steering, Geshe Jamming, now with Geshe Tsultrim, thank you very much. And also
Thank
with
you.
many other teachers that came here to the center. And then also on account of that, I got then some new opportunities presented itself for working with teachers overseas. And so I think that all of this is possible because also you guys, if you were not here, I would not have those opportunities. And so I wanted to thank everyone for allowing me to be here, for being sharing the Dharma path with me, helping me to develop my knowledge and practice. Of course, to all the teachers, all the directors and SPCs and managers and maintenance people that are working at the kitchen, people that are working in maintenance, people that are offering volunteer works here at Chinrezig Institute. When I think of all the people that I've worked with over the years, there would be hundreds of them, if not more than that. And so all of us are sharing this, I guess, wonderful experience, at least for me. And as Jumbo also said, along the way, I became a monk. So that is also, I think, kind of connected with my development here at the center. It depends upon all the people that have been here over the years. And so I'm taking, I decided to take a break from Chinrezig Institute a few years ago, but COVID happened. And then I stayed here for 3 more years, which I think that was really good, the great scheme of things. But it feels like it's time to do something else, to find some new inspiration, to develop in other ways. But over the time, my attitude towards living changed from living to taking an extended break. When I think long-term, where I want to be in the future, then definitely Australia is a good place, hands down. Sunshine Coast is nice, apart from the hideous summer. And so I think I'll definitely come back to the center in the future. When that will be, I don't know. But till then, thank you very much, everyone.
Alessandra. Lunch, maybe.
Shall we leave it here for now? So thank you very much. Let's finish this session and then go down for lunch. The Lamrim Tama. We will finish off with making the final Lamrim dedication, a good way of dedicating all the merit we've accumulated so far and also beginning the new year. For my 2 collections, Fast and Space, I've amassed from working with effort that is practiced for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom, eyes blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all life and Manjushri. May I find the best of complete great parts of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skill from being strong, but a strong pulse of compassion. May I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings. With the points of the path that I've discerned them, may I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart growing up with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or what spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time by even this great path to enlightenment, completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their sons. May all human and non-human beings eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths, never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the 10-fold Mahayana virtuous practices, may always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may ocean of prosperity spread everywhere. Actually, before we break, Also wanted to thank Geshe Tsultrim. Thank you. Now, I want I wanted to thank Geshe Tsultrim for putting up with me. You know, I'm not always the easiest person to work with. I can annoy him, definitely. And so thank you very much. And we will meet in the future again. And so, hope so.
And you come. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Selling the deal. Put that.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.